They called him Amari the Unbreakable, the prince whose pride could make the mountains bow. But when a man believes he stands taller than the gods, even the earth will rise to teach him how small he truly is. This is the legend of Prince Amari, the man who defied the spirits and paid the price. Long before the first sword was forged, there was the kingdom of Ngara, a land blessed by the spirits and guarded by ancient oaths, and at the heart of Ngara stood a prince, fierce as fire, fearless as the lion, Amari, son of King Abado. The people sang his name in markets and battlefields alike, but they also whispered another name behind closed doors, for Amari's pride was not his strength, it was his curse. From a young age, Amari believed he was chosen by destiny. He defeated warriors twice his size, hunted lions with his bare hands, and spoke to his people as if he were already king. Father, he once said to King Abado, why do we bow to the spirits when they should bow to us? It is man who conquers the world, not whispers in the wind. King Abado frowned, his eyes dark like storm clouds. My son, he said, power is a river. When you try to hold it in your hands, it will drown you. But Amari only smiled. Then I will learn to breathe underwater. As the years passed, his victories grew. He led raids against rival tribes, expanded his father's borders, and returned home carrying the heads of his enemies, trophies of his glory. The people cheered him, but the spirits began to whisper, for in the land of Ngara, pride was not a crown, it was a warning. One night, under the full moon, Amari entered the Forbidden Grove, a place said to belong to the spirit of the earth, Nyoka. He sought the beast of shadows, a creature no man had ever slain. He wanted to prove that even the gods' creations could bleed. As he stepped through the tall grass, the forest grew silent. No birds, no wind, only the sound of his heartbeat. Then, the ground trembled, and a voice like thunder filled the air. Prince of Ngara, why do you trespass upon my sacred land? Amari lifted his spear proudly. I come to show that no power, mortal or divine, can stand before Amari the Unbreakable. The forest itself laughed, a low, mocking rumble. Then your lesson begins. Amari charged. His spear flew, and shattered like glass. The beast's tail struck him down, leaving a mark across his chest, burning like fire. You will live, prince, but your pride will destroy all you love. When Amari awoke, he was back in his palace, but the mark on his chest never faded. Days turned to months. The kingdom thrived, but Amari's heart began to twist. He grew restless, suspicious, hungry for more. When King Abado offered him counsel, Amari replied coldly, I no longer need the advice of old men haunted by superstition. He dismissed the priests. He silenced the storytellers. He declared himself the living spirit of Ngara, a god in human form. And so, when the drought came, he laughed at the elders who prayed for rain. He ordered the farmers to keep working, saying, if the heavens will not open, then we shall conquer the heavens. But the rivers dried, the crops withered, children starved. The people who once sang his name began to curse it. King Abado confronted his son one final time. Pride cannot feed a nation, he said. Bow before the spirits. Ask for forgiveness. But Amari, blinded by arrogance, shouted back, I am the storm. The spirits bow to me. That night, the king fell ill, and by dawn, he was dead. Some say poison, others say the spirits had taken him for his son's sins. And from that day, the rains vanished completely. The once golden kingdom of Ngara turned to dust. Famine spread. Villages burned. The people fled, leaving their king to rule over bones and silence. And one night, as Amari gazed into the dying fire, he heard the voice again. You wish to be greater than the spirits, yet now, none remain to call your name. Amari rose, trembling. Show yourself, he cried, I am still a king. The flames grew taller, shaping into the serpent once more. You were a prince of light, Amari. But pride has made you a shadow. The serpent called around the throne, its eyes piercing his soul. What must I do to undo what I have done? You must give what you value most. My life, he asked. The spirit's voice rumbled softly. No. Your pride. Amari fell to his knees, and for the first time, he wept. He lifted his hands to the heavens and shouted, Oh, forgive me. Take my name, my throne, my power, but spare my people. The serpent hissed and vanished in a burst of light. Then, the skies opened, rain poured down upon Ngara for 7 days. But when the people returned, they found only one thing on the throne, Amari's crown, and ashes where their prince once sat. Today they say the spirit took pity on him, and turned his soul into the wind that brings the first rain each year. When the thunder rolls across the plains, the elders still say, do you hear that? That is Prince Amari, kneeling before the spirits once more. the legend of Amari became a lesson passed through generations. A crown is light only when the head that wears it knows how to bow. If you walk the lands of Africa and feel the first drop of rain after the dry season, remember the man who once thought himself greater than the gods. This was the tale of Prince Amari, man who learned that pride is the heaviest burden a king can carry. But the story did not end with the ashes on the throne, for though the people believed Amari's soul had become the wind, the spirits knew another truth, a truth hidden from mortal eyes, guarded in a realm where no man had ever walked, deep beyond the veil between worlds, where the rivers ran with light and the sky had no sun. Prince Amari awoke once more. He opened his eyes to a land made of memory and echo, the spirit realm. The dust of his body was gone, but the weight of his sins clung to him. Like chains of shadow. A soft wind brushed against him. "Rise, Prince," said a voice that felt like both thunder and whisper. It was Nyoka, the spirit of the earth, coiled upon a stone shaped like the throne he once claimed as his own. Amari bowed his head, no longer with pride, but with understanding. "Have you brought me here to punish me further?" Nyoka studied him with ancient eyes. "Punishment? No. Your punishment was the life you lived. What remains now is the lesson." Amari looked at his hands, glowing faintly, as though made of smoke and light. "What am I now? A ghost?" "Not a ghost," the serpent replied. "A memory. A warning. A spirit who must wander until the weight of pride finally releases its hold." Amari swallowed hard. "Will I ever be forgiven?" "Forgiveness is not given," Nyoka said. "It is earned." The ground beneath Amari shifted and revealed a path made of shimmering stone. "Walk," Nyoka commanded. Amari hesitated. "What lies ahead?" "Everything you refuse to see in life." And so he stepped forwards. The path led Amari through visions of his past, but twisted, clearer, crueler. He saw himself as a boy, laughing as he lifted a wooden spear, declaring that one day the world would bow before him. But now he saw something he had missed. In the shadows behind him, young warriors and servants lowered their eyes, not in respect, but in fear. He walked further. He saw the day he hunted the lions, chest puffed with glory, but now he saw the way the elders trembled, terrified. That each victory made him more reckless. He saw the day he mocked the priests, calling the spirits old stories for weak men. This time he saw the priest's eyes, filled not with anger, but heartbreak. Then he reached the memory that made his steps falter. His father, King Abado, lying weak in bed, staring at the ceiling. Amari tried to touch him, but his hand passed through like mist. Abado whispered to the darkness, "I fear I have raised a king who will destroy the land I built." Amari fell to his knees. "Father, I see now. I was blind." Nyoka's voice echoed around him. "Your father tried to teach you the truth, that power serves the people, not the self. But pride deafened you." Amari clenched his fists. "What more must I see?" "Everything." The scene changed. Now he stood in the barren plains of Ngara, but not as they were during the drought. These plains were worse. Ashes swirled around him, the ground was cracked like broken skin, and the sky was empty, as if even light feared to cross those lands. "Is this my doing?" he whispered. "Yes," Nyoka replied. "This is what pride leaves behind when it is left to rule." Amari saw the people who once cheered him, now wandering as silhouettes of smoke, whispering curses he could not fully hear. "How do I fix this?" Amari cried. "Tell me. Show me." Nyoka's eyes glowed. "You cannot fix the past. But you can protect the future." Amari looked at him in confusion. "The future? I am dead." "You misunderstand," Nyoka replied. "A spirit can still guide the living. You asked for your people to be spared, and they were. But a kingdom without guidance is like a river without banks." The serpent lifted its head, and the land around them shifted again. Now Amari saw the people returning to Ngara after the rains. Some rebuilt homes, some lit fires, some planted seeds, but fear lingered in their hearts. "Their king is gone," Nyoka said. "But a kingdom needs more than a ruler. It needs wisdom, your wisdom, the wisdom you learned too late." Amari nodded slowly. "Then let me help them. Let me be their guardian." Nyoka tilted his head. "And what will you guard them from?" Amari took a long breath. "From the enemy I never recognized until it destroyed me." "And who is that?" Nyoka asked. "My pride," Amari said. The ground glowed beneath Amari's feet. "Then your final trial begins." From the shadows emerged figures, dozens, then hundreds. They were made of mist, human-shaped but hollow-eyed. "Who are they?" Amari whispered, "They are the echoes of kings who fell to pride before you," Nyoka said. "They failed their trial. If you fail yours, you will join them." "The spirits advanced, slow, silent, suffocating your trial," Nyoka said, "is not to fight them. It is to face yourself." Amari closed his eyes, the spirit stopped. He breathed deeply. "I am Amari.